So those are just a couple, like, what can we be making sure is in place to increase the likelihood of problem behavior not occurring. And then we're almost at an end here, but a couple last strategies that we know can work really well is, again, back to the attention. If a student's problem behavior is motivated by teacher or para attention or peer attention, we can give them attention every 5 minutes, no matter what they're doing. So just setting that timer and making sure that you're giving them that positive attention. If we know a student is engaging in problem behavior because they want to escape, then we want to give breaks. We want to actually create scheduled breaks, but we need those breaks to take place after they comply, not prior. So first write your name, then you can have a sensory break or a drink break or a bathroom break, or first touch your nose, then you can go to the calm down corner. But not just, okay, you don't want to do work, you can have a break, because then we're teaching them non-compliance equals break, or non-compliance equals escape. So just even if it's the tiniest direction to get them to show compliance, like first sit in your seat, then you can have a break. It's just really important that their first behavior is compliance, and then they get to escape.
Okay.
Alternate between easy and difficult tasks. If math is really hard, give them a couple things that you know they can do. Trace these 5 numbers, and then let's do this one together, and then let's see if you can do this one by yourself. Don't have them all be difficult, because that's going to increase them trying to get out of it. Allow them to select the order of the tasks that they complete. So if they're presented with a worksheet, and they need to do 20 problems, let them do them in whatever order they want. Another option could be, if they're presented with a worksheet, have them choose one problem to work on, and then say, hey, just do one, and then you can go have a break. And then you would eventually increase it to 2, eventually increase it to 3, eventually increase it to 4.
Right, that makes sense.
If they like being sent to the office when they're in trouble because they think it's fun and they like the attention they get in the office, send them to the office when they're not in trouble. Like, wow, you've been working for 10 minutes really, really well. I am so proud of you. Let's go to the office and tell the principal how awesome you've been today. Really try to flip it.
Make it.
So they start to associate getting sent to the office for appropriate behavior instead of inappropriate behavior.
Right.
Even if it's just a quick 5-minute thing that they did great, and then let's go to the office and tell the office that you just did this awesome thing. Tell them the amount of time they're expected to remain in class in order to access the office. I just need you to sit in your seat and follow directions for 15 minutes, and then we can go to the office. Or then we can go for a walk, and maybe even give them a timer so that they know and they can watch and monitor that time. And then you would eventually fade that out to not having to have the timer or having to sit for longer and longer periods.
Can I ask a question regarding this? So this happens a lot with the students I work with, and we'll set up something, it's in play, but I have the hardest time getting teachers on board.
Okay. So they don't want them to be taking the break?
Yes, right. They say, maybe they can have 3 15-minute breaks a week. When I have a student that can't even sit in a classroom for an hour without singing ABCs at the top of his lungs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what would be really great is if you could do a little like data collection of showing how every 5 minutes is the behavior occurring, every 10 minutes is the behavior occurring. And if you can show the teacher, look, they are engaging in this behavior. Like, let's say it's screaming the ABCs at the top of their lungs. That's the behavior we're targeting. So just like a loud scream disruption. If you could maybe start to take a day to write down how often, is it every 5 minutes? Is it every 10 minutes that they tend to engage in the behavior? And then show the teacher, we have to do the break before the behavior occurs. So if it's happening every 10 minutes, we need to probably give a break every 8 minutes. And if you're in there one-on-one for that student, I think just the more you can tell the teacher, I will manage this for you. I'll control the timer and just say, this is not what we're going to do forever. This is just what we're going to do until the behavior gets under control. And then we will increase the amount of time that they are to remain in the classroom. But you could really try to just get them on board with understanding that you're following the data of how often the behavior is occurring.
Okay. Try it.
But yeah, the teacher buy-in can be hard because it can feel disruptive. I think if you could schedule a meeting one-on-one with that teacher to really have their undivided attention to explain the rationale. And if we know that the student is engaging in the problem behavior to escape, then we know that these breaks are evidence-based intervention.
Yeah,
that needs to happen. If they're trying to escape demands, then again, like make your instructions reduced. Like first, then just give one instruction versus 3 at a time. Decrease the amount of work that they do at a time. Like instead of a whole worksheet, maybe half of a worksheet. And then again, frequent timed breaks. So if the student is on an IEP, you could, if it's in their behavior plan, then it's really important. If scheduled breaks are in their behavior plan, then it's really important that the general education teacher follow those plans. If the student is not on an IEP, but you're finding that breaks work, it's just important to keep data on it. So you would have a piece of paper that says like every 10 minutes, Jose is going to get a timed break, and then you would see if that is decreasing the amount of problem behavior that's occurring. And if it is, then you have good data to show that the breaks are working. If it's not, then yeah, maybe breaks is not what they need. Maybe it's something else. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's still a student that might be needing more of like a tier 2 intervention that might be able to not have to be referred for special education. The very last strategy of today, and then we're done, is called the good behavior game. And this is an evidence-based intervention that's been heavily researched to be shown effective, and it's considered evidence-based. And it can be done with a whole class, or it can be done with a small group. What we tend to do is you could have a little portable whiteboard that you carry around with you. You can do this as a substitute even, or you can use the big whiteboard and you can have students against teacher with tally marks. And we have a mystery motivator that we typically use, but I'm gonna go over just how to set it up and then we're gonna be done for today. So you want, again, to go back to those class expectations or those rules that are posted in the classroom. Like, what is the expectation? What does it look like? What are some examples and non-examples of following directions the first time or staying on task? So you're going to choose the behavior that you're wanting to catch them doing. And then you're going to create the space on the whiteboard to create tally marks, and then you're going to create your reward system. So it might be stickers, it might be one gummy bear, it might be free time to get out the board games, it might be special art materials get taken out. And then you're going to need a timer to begin and end the game. So you might want to just choose like one time of the day that problem behavior is hard. So maybe math is when it's the hardest. So we're just going to play this game during math. And maybe math goes for 45 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer for 45 minutes. I'm going to tell the students what I'm looking for. I'm looking for students that are following directions the first time. I'm looking for students that are raising their hand. I'm looking for students that are doing their work. These are examples of what that looks like. These are examples of what that doesn't look like. We're going to practice. All right, now we're going to play. So again, you want to have some type of reinforcement menu that you know the kids are interested in. So is it the last 10 minutes of class they earn getting to put some kind of dance video on the smart board? Is it a coupon where the class gets to have lunch in the classroom with the teacher instead of going to the cafeteria? Is it a note home? Is it free time? Is it listening to music on the Chromebooks? Is it board games? Is it a sticker or a little eraser? Is it 2 minutes of extra recess? Is it a piece of fruit? Is it we get to get out some of the cool, more novel art materials like smelly markers? Is it we get to go play a game in the gym instead of doing math? Is it visiting time? Are we playing charades? Maybe we get a cool pencil. Maybe we get some type of reward coupon where we like get to get out of an assignment. It can be whatever, is reinforcing to that group of students. And you can plan to divide it in different ways. You can have it you or the para versus the students. You could have it be like if you had 20 students, you could have 10 students against 10 students. If you had 25 students, you could divide it into 3 or 4 groups. And you want to try to distribute the students who engage in the most disruptive behavior onto different teams. You do not want to put those hard kiddos on the same team. If you have more than 15 on a team, you want to break up into 3 teams. And if you have a student that's constantly sabotaging the game, you can let them even be on their own team by themselves. You can be a teacher or para can be on a team when neither team is following expectations, and then the teacher gets the point. If they're not engaging in the behavior, then the teacher gets the point. And if the teacher has more points than the team, then there's no reward. But you really want to try hard to keep reinforcing the smallest appropriate behaviors and reinforce both groups so that you try not to win and you really want the kids to win.
Right.
So you can just, every time you see rule compliance, you give them a point. Oh my gosh, Sally, you just raised your hand. You just earned a point for your team. Or Jose, you earned a point for your team. Thank you for staying in your seat and doing your work. Everybody's working right now. I really appreciate how everybody's doing quality work and are on task. The whole class gets a point. Or you could have it be team-based. Or if you had some people visiting, you wouldn't call out their names and give them that negative attention, but you would say, oh, I need the noise level to be 0 right now. That's a point for me. And that's a more positive way to say it than, John, Jose, voices off. That's a point for me. You do not want to say it that way. You want to avoid calling kids out and being negative. You just want to state the behavior that you do want to see. I need, this is a reminder, I need voices to be on level 0. That's a point for me. Let's try again so you can get a point for having your voices on level 0. A couple minutes go by. Great, voices are on level 0. Awesome job. That's a point for you all as a class. You want to try to spend the majority of the time teaching and ignoring the minor disruptions. Like walking in their chair or maybe, putting their head down while they're writing. Those are the types of things you can ignore. And then for winning the game at the end of the class period, so if you're doing it for math and math is 45 minutes long, at the end of 45 minutes, the timer goes off. You'll record the number of points each team received on a data sheet. The team with the most points, or if both teams are within 5 points of each other, they can both win. They get the reward, and you don't want to withhold the reward until the next day or the end of the week or the end of the month. Like, oh, we're going to save up all these points for a pizza party. That really decreases the value of the reinforcement if it's not immediate. So we want to have the reward be given right after the game's over.
Okay.
And that is it for today.
Right on. Thank you. Thank you for this information. I'm excited to apply it.
Yeah, well, keep doing the awesome work that you're doing. And I just think that, we're just really appreciative of student advocates, so keep it up.
We're appreciative of you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye now.